Quick note, I'll be in 13 cities over the next 13 months teaching you about real estate in person, so check the link below. Can't wait to see you on the I'm Over It tour. In my trunk, I'm going to show you something that could make you over $269,000 in the first year you use this. So here it is. No, it's not rifle case number 1. No, it's not rifle case number 2. It's actually this little box right here. And this box, if you open it 300 times over the next 12 months, you could stand to make over $269,000. Let's talk. So I made a video on how to invest $1,000, and the first suggestion was this. And I got flooded with your questions on how exactly I would recommend setting up a 3D 360-degree Matterport business. That is a business related around the technology in this box right here. Now, let me just give you a little bit of background. I'm a real estate broker, been a real estate broker for 10 years. I bought the Matterport system. I'm not affiliated with the company at all. I just bought it as a real estate broker back in 2016, and I've absolutely fallen in love with it to where I think every real estate agent in the future will be using this technology. Most of them probably won't buy it. Most of them will be looking for somebody to hire to do the service for them. So now what I'm going to do in this video is I'm going to tell you a little bit about the pitch as to why I like using this and why I think you can create a business out of the Matterport camera and some extra services. And then I'm going to tell you exactly how to set up the business and where to get leads. There's one thing real estate agents and property managers want more than anything: less actual physical appointments and more commissions and more money. Doesn't that make sense? Everybody wants to do less and make more money. Well, the Matterport camera does exactly that. Here's how it does that, and consider this as your business pitch. As a real estate agent, when I utilize the 3D scan of the Matterport tour, which you can see a 3D sample of this house on screen now, and you'll see how you can walk around the house yourself. You could look up at the ceiling, you could look at the fan, and you'll notice that when you actually look at the fan, it's the same as what you see in the scan. You could walk through, and now all of a sudden you start internalizing, oh, I can imagine how real estate agents might use this. But let me give you some specific examples as to how I've made really good use out of the Matterport technology. First things first, I can sell a fixer-upper house to basically an international community now. People don't have to come out to see all of the floor plan and the layout and the flow of the house. They can see that through a 3D tour. Now, I always recommend seeing real estate before actually buying it or closing it. But hey, if you could write an offer based on a 3D tour, why not? It's a pretty accurate portrayal of what the house is actually like. So more buyers for agents' listings is an obvious no-brainer. But what else is pretty cool? Well, when you're doing property management, what I like to do as a property manager is I will mandate that before I show the property to any tenant, I text them the Matterport link, which I can brand with my own custom branding. I can link people to my website and so on and so forth. I mandate that they look at the tour, and I have ways of sort of encouraging people to do that, and pretty much everybody does. I talk about that in the real estate investing course all the time. The course is mostly about how to save money and make money investing in real estate and dealing with tenants and investments. But now, even tenants can preview a property before I show it to them. And now you might be thinking to yourself, oh, well, Kevin, don't you want to be there and like point out things to them and tell them like, oh, well, did you know that this heater was new? Well, I can. The way I can do that is through something really cool called Matter Tags. Matter Tags let me put little pinpoints on different objects of the house, and I can actually say whatever I want. And a buyer can do this all from their couch at night while they're watching Netflix or pretending to watch Netflix. Another thing I like to use it for, contractors. Before and after tours, I get to document what contractors are doing. If I'm out of town, somebody can do a scan for me. I can get an update on what the contractor's doing. I actually think all contractors should use this so they can sell contracting renovations, basically, and then scan the property and give their clients updates of, hey, look at how much progress we're making. And one of my favorite reasons to use the Matterport is it's really easy to now document the before and after condition of a property when a tenant goes to move out. If I have a Matterport scan of the before and a Matterport scan of the after, it becomes really easy to go to a judge and go, Judge, look at the difference in condition here. It's the same thing. It's a 3D scan. Where do you want to walk? What do you want to see? Now, of course, it's a little bit more complicated. You're not going to see like behind all the doors and like in cabinets and things like that. So it doesn't replace everything. But folks, the pitch here is endless. So how are you going to start a business around this? Let's get into that. Now, say you want to start a business doing these 3D Matterport scans and you want to sell your service to real estate agents or contractors or property managers. How are you going to do that? We're going to do it pretty simply. Here's what you're going to do. You're going to come up with a simple name. It should be something very easily explainable, like Ventura3dhouseScan.com or whatever. You know what? You could think of something shorter or more creative, VenturaScan.com, whatever's available in your area, and you can do whatever you want. Now, coming up with a name doesn't really cost you anything. You might have to register a fictitious business name, but that's super cheap. That's about 50 bucks. Then that's your business name. Your domain is your business name. Then you need a slogan. I personally like a slogan like, I shoot and I don't miss, because you're scanning everything and you're shooting real estate. Then you can sign up for Squarespace for a pretty inexpensive website and just use a templated website. Honestly, you don't need more than one page that just has your business name, some photos of you using the camera, and your pricing and how to get in touch with you. Maybe you even have a link to a Yelp page or something like that, which a Yelp page doesn't cost you anything to make. Neither does making a Google Reviews page. You could easily set these things up within a day. Now, you don't even really need business cards, but if you really wanted some business cards, I just recommend a picture of yourself standing next to the Matterport camera and thumbs up. And there you go. Email, contact information, you're in business. Now, what about the camera? Well, let's talk about the camera. Look, I've gotten so many messages of people going, oh, Kevin, how are you going to start a Matterport business? The camera is like $5,000 for the setup. Like, how am I going to start? Oh my gosh. I think, honestly, there's a little bit of creativity missing here, but let me try to fill in the gap for you, okay? Yes, you need a tripod. Yes, you need the camera. Yes, you need an iPad to go with it. And yeah, it's probably a good idea to have a nice Pelican case to put it to sleep in every single night, because it's an expensive camera, you don't want to drop it and lose it. Put it all together, yeah, that's probably about a $5,000 package. But here's what you can do to not have to spend $5,000 right away. A few options. One, my favorite option, go to people in the area, like me, that own the Matterport system, but don't use it all of the time. Start trying to book clients, then schedule some time with the person that owns the Matterport system and offer to rent it from them on a day-by-day basis, or give them 20% of whatever your revenue is for letting them use your camera. Most people that already own this system would probably be more than happy to do that, especially if you insured them against loss, which we'll talk about insurance in 1 second, because it's a win-win for them. It's on the shelf, and now it's not, and it's making money while the person's not doing anything. I mean, it's basically passive income 101 right there. So why would they not do that? Now, worst case, you start coming up with these objections. And you're like, well, I don't know anybody that does the Matterport, or nobody wants to, or I'm too nervous to go ask somebody if I can borrow their Matterport setup and insure them against loss. Well, then get a credit card that's interest-free for 18 months. And if you divide the cost of this whole package out by 18 months, it's gonna cost you like 277 bucks a month. Big deal. It's not that much money to get started. You can figure it out and you can get creative. Now, let's talk about insurance, and then let's talk about where you're gonna charge. Now, let's say you're doing a scan and all of a sudden you trip over the camera and you knock it over and you cause damage to the camera or the property or whatever. You need what's called liability insurance. And guess where you can get that? Go to my buddies over at Hiscox, not affiliated, not a referral link here or whatever, that's just the company that I use, and get a liability policy for a self-employed photographer. It's probably gonna cost you somewhere between $400 to $700 per year. I'm not an insurance agent, so this is not insurance advice. It's not legal advice either. You know what, honestly, this is just for entertainment purposes only, so don't sue me, bro. But get an insurance policy, and the odds are it's not gonna cost you more than 50 bucks a month. Now, if you break your camera, you should have some kind of business equipment protection in that insurance policy. So that way, if you charged it all on a credit card, or you borrowed it for somebody else, and then you destroyed it all, or this fell over, hit the stove, caused the fire, and the entire house burned down, at least you have some kind of protection. Now, if I were going to start this business in my particular area where the median home price is around $575,000, this is what I would charge. Know that you might have to charge something different wherever it is you live, depending on A, the competition, and B, the home price. Because remember, here on a $575,000 house, the average commission is probably somewhere between $12,000 and $17,000 for a real estate agent. So you can't charge too much if the commissions are a lot lower in your area. You might be able to charge more if commissions are higher in your area. So keep that in mind. Now here's what I would charge, again, with a median home price of $575,000 and one that I think is pretty competitive, as well as some other bundled features. This is exactly what I would do. For up to a 1,500 square foot property, I would charge $499, and that would get somebody the 3D 360-degree scan that they could custom brand to their website. Now it's going to cost me about $25 to $30 with Matterport to get a 2D rendering of the floor plan of the property, but I'm gonna go ahead and upsell that for $99. Now, we're going to also include professional photography. And so what we're going to do is, from our 3D scan, we're actually gonna rip out photos, HDR photos. We'll do some light retouching on these, which if you want somebody to follow on how to retouch photos, follow this guy, Photos Surge. He's awesome, and he'll teach you all you need to know about touching up interior photos. For that part, you'll charge, say, $299. Then, for every additional 500 square feet, you could have a little add-on budget, say an extra $150 for every extra 500 square feet that you have to scan. And you do everything sort of in little 500 square foot packages or tiers. Then, if you have one, this is another investment, but if you have one, I'd probably bundle this in as well. I would include drone shots for $199 to get some drone shots, maybe even a little drone 6-second clip of the drone flying up to the property. I wouldn't offer any kind of like video editing or you're gonna create a movie. It just takes way too much time. Just give them a quick little clip they could put on their Instagram or whatever they wanna do. And maybe you throw a text over it or whatever. I charge $199 for that. And then I would hook up with a title company like Fidelity Title or Chicago, and I'd get them to give me access to how I could get lot lines on properties. And I'd upsell another package for $175. You have to be really careful with this one. A lot of liability could be in this. But I'd offer to overlay lot lines for the property based on whatever maps I got from the title companies. Obviously, you should probably have a disclaimer on that is not guaranteed. It is just a guess based on title records. So have your disclosures, make sure you have the proper insurance for that as well. Talk to your insurance rep. So now all of that's going to add up to a package value of $1,271. But come on, everybody likes a discount. So what are you gonna do? You're gonna sell the entire package for $899. Now, what is the business aspect here? Well, realistically, to actually do the scan, do the drone shots, do the video clip, pull the HDR photos, and maybe you even offer an extra service like adding the little matter tags. Maybe you even charge extra $50 or whatever to do the matter tags or whatever. All of this, do it for $899, and it's gonna take you maybe 3 hours. Maybe it'll take you 4 hours because it takes you a little longer to get used to it or whatever. And there you go. You're in business as a Matterport scanning service provider who's now bundling multiple different jobs into one. You do 3D scans, you do photography, you do floor plan, you do site plan, you do the drone, you do the matter tags. You literally provide all of this for just $899. It sounds like a steal to me, and with all of the benefits, I think a lot of people would be very, very interested in it. That's why I bought the system, because I knew I would use this on every single property, sometimes even multiple times. Now you might be wondering, how hard is it to use this? Well, it's pretty dang easy. You're supposed to put it on a tripod. You could read a bunch of guides online in terms of the height of the Matterport when you adjust it. You just take your iPad, you open up the floor plan of the property, and the device itself will tag where the scan is based on all of the other scans in the property. Now, you are supposed to tag where windows are or mirrors because they can mess up the alignment of the scan. But basically, once you get inside the property and you mark where windows are that are open or mirrors are, you just press scan. And the thing just turns around and spins. It uses the 8 or 9 cameras or whatever the heck this thing has, scans it up for you, and it'll tell you if there's an error in alignment. If there is, you just do it again. But all in all, the learning curve for using this thing is like 20 minutes. I think my 3-year-old could do this. Now, the last thing that I want to tell you is, as with any business of self-employment, it is a grind to get clients. So I don't want you to think, oh my gosh, $8.99 divided by 4 hours worth of work, that's a lot of money per hour. Keep in mind that usually when you're self-employed, you spend a lot of time trying to get clients, and learning customer service, learning how to treat clients correctly, realizing that you're going to make mistakes, and when you make those mistakes, you're gonna have to give your clients discounts or free scans. But quite frankly, when you start building the business and you start creating great relationships with the people you're working for, I think it's a pretty viable business to make a good living in. So what's the bottom line? Well, if you did just one scan a day, one package plan a day, for 300 days over the next 12 months, at a cost to the client of $899, you would have a gross revenue of over $269,000. Now, certainly there are going to be some days that you don't scan over the next 12 months, and that's why I said 300 instead of 365. And there are going to be some days you might do multiple scans in one day. Heck, you might even do 3 scans in one day and nothing for the next 3 days. You just process the stuff over the other days. There are a lot of ways you can build this business. Of course, you're gonna have some costs, but you know what? You got some upsell opportunities as well. Enjoy.